Hello everyone, welcome to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will be talking about change data capture in Azure Data Factory. It's a recent feature which is introduced by Microsoft. So let's see how it actually works. So once you go to the Azure Data Factory, so I have a data factory called the Data Factory Prod. Let me open it. All right. Okay. So it will take a bit time to open. Okay, so let me just launch the studio. Until my studio is being launched, let's discuss what it is actually about. So earlier what used to happen was, let's say you have some historical data and you know your data, like let's say I have a table with some customers. For example, I have a table and I have one like I have my ID number and let's say customer name and so on. So this is my sample table. So as on today, I have only single row. Okay. So ID is one and there is some customer name. Now today a new customer came and in my database I have updated the entity. So I have a ID called 2 and the customer name is something like ABC. Now the thing is, this is only the change in data. As compared to yesterday, only one row got increased, right? So for such scenarios, earlier what we used to do was we were having some source. Source can be anything. It can be a SQL, it can be your Excel file, anything in Data Factory. Now, what we either we by using the copy activity we can copy the entire source. So let's say if you have this type of data, so what used to happen was every day we are copying the same data. So this first row was copied again and again if you are using simple copy activity. Second approach to optimize this kind of thing was using stored procedure. For example, you have SQL as the source, so SQL was the source. Now you will introduce a new column which will be like refresh date, and base you will keep the timestamps. So you will say that this is for yesterday, this is for today. You will keep these timestamps. Now you will create a stored procedure, and based on the stored procedure you will be calling only those rows which are generated today. Now you will be appending it. For appending also we need to use the data flows. So there is a separate thing called data flows in Azure Data Factory. You will be using those data flows to append the new rows. So it was a very complicated process, right? Firstly, you need to create a store procedure if you're using SQL as the source, and then you need to create a data flow activity wherein you are appending only the new rows to the older data. But now this thing need not to be done. Finally Microsoft has introduced the uh, changing dimension activity, so we'll be talking about that. So the name is change data capture. Now you can do this entire thing which I explained in just less than 1 or 2 minutes. So like let me show you how it works. So my ADF is still loading. Let it load and then we'll proceed further. Okay, I'm not sure why it's taking so much time. Okay, so until it loads, so let me just give you the schema first. So this is the schema we have. So it's very simple: serial number, name, and the serial number is 1 and name is Subjivan. So this is our data set which I will be using as of now. Okay, so data factory got loaded. So if you see the author icon, in that you have something called change data capture in preview mode. So it is available as of now only in preview mode. Okay, so let's see how we can do a practical out of it. So for that, what I will do is firstly I'll go to my blob storage. Okay, so let me just go to my blob storage. So I have a storage account called Azure blob demo storage. I'll just open it. Okay, so it's loading. Once I open it, I'll go to containers. Now what I will do is, your source can be anything. It can be Excel file, it can be a CSV file, it can be a Parquet file, it can be, you are doing, so you are like implementing some API call and bringing out the data. Then you can have the on-prem SQL, then you can have the cloud SQL, anything, right? So I'm taking Excel file as of now for this demonstration. Okay, so let me just delete this file. So I have a blob container called ctr1, or let me just delete both. Let us keep the name easy. Let me just delete these two. All right, it's taking time. Okay, just a moment. Let me just create a new container called source. Okay, now in the source container, what I will do is I will put that CSV file. All right, so let's just create. Okay, so it have successfully created a source container. So in this I will upload my CSV file, which contains what? Only a single small table with serial number and name. Okay, so let me just upload it. I'm not sure why today Data Factory is, like the Azure portal is working very slow. Maybe due to the net connection or something. Let's wait. Let's wait. Alright, now I will just click on browse for files. I'll just go to my downloads and I'll just upload this CSV. Okay, so once I have done that, I'll just click on upload. Alright, so the name is datasheet1.csv. I'll just give it a easier name, so let me just upload it again. I don't want to make the things complex, so let me just rename this file. Okay, I'll just go to my downloads. I'll just rename it to data. That's it. Or you can say data source. Okay. Alright, let me just upload it again. Okay. Alright, so this is uploaded. Let me just delete the one which is not required also. So I'll quickly click on delete button to delete this older file. Okay, so now we have this file called data source.csv, right, in our blob storage. So I have already created a link service to connect with this blob storage. If you don't know what is a link service and how to create it, you can see my above videos on link service creation and its use. You'll get to know it. So let me just continue further. Now we have something called change data capture, which is currently in preview mode. So I'll just create a new CDC. Okay, so let me just name it as test CDC, something like that. I can give any name. So it will ask me for your source type. Okay, source type can be whatever is your type of source. Currently it supports these many sources, which is your Azure Cosmos DB for NoSQL, your SQL database, your SQL database managed instance, and then SQL server, and then it also supports different files and even Snowflake. Okay, now I have a CSV file. So let me just go to file and I will just select delimited text. Okay, so it will ask me for my link service name. So I have a link service called Azure Blob Storage Link Service. I'll just click on that. Okay, if you don't know how to create a link service, you can watch previous videos. Now it is asking me the folder path. So I'll simply click on folder structure. I'll tell where my folder, basically where my table resides. So it resides in source. Now I'll just click on source and that's it. Okay, I'll just press OK. That's it. And I'll click on continue. Now it is asking me for the target type. So what I just want my target also to be a CSV. So I'll say target is also delimited text, and now it is asking for my target link service. Okay, that means you can even connect different let's say I have two different blob storages, one for source and one for SIG. So that kind of scenarios can also be handled. Now I will just select the link service again, right, where I want to dump the data. Okay, So now it will ask me where to dump the data. So in my blob storage, I have as of now I have only created one container called source. Let me also create a container called sink. So I'll name it as sink and I'll click on create. Very easily it will create a sink one also. Now let me just go to folder structure. So here my sink folder is there. It is empty as of now. I'll press OK and I'll press continue. Okay, so now it is saying it will take the data from source table and it will put it into sink. So that's it, right? So that means my overall CDC is created. I'll set the latency, that how much, after how much time it should check whether the source have the data or not. So let's say as of now source have only single row, so it will copy that single row into the sink folder. After let's say 1 second, again in my source a new file, new row was updated. So based on like how much frequency it should check that second row. So if you go for with real time, so as soon as you upload, as soon as in the source there is a new row, it will be quickly copied to the sync part also. So I'll go with real time as of now, just to for the demonstration purpose, and I'll click on publish. Okay, so let me publish this CDC. Okay, now if your CD is already started, you will not be able to publish it. To publish the new CDC, you need to either if you are like modifying the older CDC, you need to stop it first, then you need to modify, and then you need to again click on publish and then click on start again. So as of now we have just created a new CDC, so let me quickly click on start. It may take some time to start a CDC, so let's wait for it, and until that we can go to monitor section. Okay, so in monitor section we can see as of now it haven't done anything. Let me click on refresh. Okay, so as of now it's not giving anything because it's not started even. So let's wait for it to start. Till then, let me just enter a second name. Let's name it as Mohit. Okay, so let's say this is the updated version. What I will do is I will just download it, file download, and I'll just download it as a CSV. Okay, now let me just delete the older one. Okay, let me just rename it to data source. Okay, so now just a moment. Okay, so it's still starting. One thing to note here is I am taking the demonstration with an Excel file. Your source can be anything. Ideally, it will be a big source like SQL Server or anything else, and not be a Excel file. Just for demonstration, we are using Excel, right? Now, let it start. Let it start. Till then, I can even also refresh the ADF. Okay, and let me just show you the sync folder. As of now there will be nothing, but slowly you will see a file created here once my CDC will start, because that will be the first copy activity. Internally what is happening, it will copy the data from the source to the sink, right, internally. So let's see when that will happen. It's still in the starting phase, so let's wait. As I said, it takes time to start. Till then, what I can do is I'll show you the preview also, so we can see the preview also in the right hand corner. So we have something called preview data. So once we click on it, so it will just scan the source and it will show the preview. So you will see there is a single row, the serial number is 1 and the name is J1. So this is what is currently present, right, and which is a good data, right? Okay, so this is my for my blob storage, and this is the CDC. Still it's loading. Okay, so finally our CDC has started. So let me just click on monitor. Once I have clicked on monitor, I'll just press refresh button. So it's loading. Let it load. Parallelly, I will check my sync. So ideally, a file should have been created here. So I'll keep an eye here also. As of now, it is saying there is no blob in this container called sync. So automatically, everything will be created. So see, just a second. So it just succeeded. So even if you click on this dot, you will be able to see. So it have read nothing and it have also written nothing. Okay, let me just refresh it again. Okay, so again, let us see what happened. Okay, uh, all right, so it have read nothing and it have written nothing, right? So let me just update the source now. Okay, so this is my sync. As of now there is nothing, but let me update my source because it is real time. As soon as I update the source, it will copy everything into the sync part. So let's see that practically. Now I'll go to my the container, so my blob storage. So I'll go to containers and then I will go to my source. And now this time what I will do is my data source.csv contain only one single row, which is my serial number is 1 and name is Sukjeevan. And now we have the CSV updated with the second row also, right, which was 2 and Mohit. So I will take that CSV, I'll open it and I'll overwrite it obviously, right? So as soon as I update it, let me refresh if something happened, because it is real time. Ideally it should happen, but let's refresh it again. Let's give it some time. Okay, so let me check. As of now it didn't have detected the changes, so it takes a bit time because it's in preview mode. So it takes some time to show the things. So let's wait. Okay, now let me just show you the container, another container. So source one, okay, sorry, the sync one. So let us open the sync one. Okay, so finally here you can see we have got a file which is of 30 bytes. Let me just download it and see what happened. Because it was real time, so as soon as I updated the file, I got a file. Let me just open it and see how it actually looks like. Alright, you can see the sync contains this one file with both the rows, Sukjeevan and Mohit. Okay, so this is how the CDC actually works in ADF. Okay, so this is not updated yet. Let me refresh it again and see. Now it is showing, yeah, it's updated. So it may take time in the monitoring part, but it is actually real time. So this is how CDC work. So basically what happened was, let me just go to the whiteboard again. I had a file. Let me just give an overview. I had a CSV file with one row, right? And I had this in my source folder, source container. Now ideally my source will keep on changing every day, and I had a sync container and I had CDC activated for same. Let me just write it here, CDC. So as soon as, because my CDC was real time, so as soon as my source changed and now instead of one row there were two rows, what happened was due to CDC, what happened was in sync also two rows were created. Okay, So this is how CDC actually works. CDC also works in data flows. I'll make a separate video on how to use CDC in data flows. Okay, a totally new concept, a totally new launch of the feature, so you can have a grab of it, right? Now you may say that why two files? So these are partitions created by the ADF, so not an issue. So the main partition is this one only, and you will be able to see the data here. I hope you found the video useful. If you have any questions, you can put it in comment section. I will be happy to reply. Thank you.